So the scale you'll be using most in flamenco is a 9-note scale. It's made up by what we usually call a Phrygian scale, which starting from E, for instance, will be all notes played from E to E with no sharps or flats, plus 2 extra notes. These 2 notes, if we keep using the E Phrygian scale as an example, would correspond with a G sharp and a D sharp. So the resulting scale would be something like this. Now you can use this scale as it is or as a starting point for other scales that are contained within this scale. This will be the case, for instance, of the regular Phrygian scale, the Phrygian dominant, which consists of a normal Phrygian with the 3rd note altered half step. So think of the E Phrygian with a G sharp instead of a G, as well as pentatonic scales we all know. In order to talk about harmony, we need to talk about the Andalusian cadence, which is the center pillar of harmony in flamenco. And it sounds like this. If you're coming from a Western tonal background, you probably say, hang on a minute, there's just a normal half cadence in A minor, right? We're going from A minor, which would be the tonic, to E major, which would be the dominant. Well, in flamenco, these 2 poles kind of work the other way around. So you have to think of this A minor, for instance, as the tension, as the question, and the E major as the answer, as the tonic. So it's very important to keep this in mind when working out your harmonic progressions to know where you are at any given time. Now, flamenco chords lend themselves very well to tensions, to adding tensions to them. The same way you do that tensions to chords in jazz, for instance. Now, here are some examples. Now, a bit of a caveat I'd have for you would be to use them sparingly. You don't want your flamenco style piece to sound jazzy. Now let's talk about rhythm. Let's talk about palos flamencos. Palos is the word given to the different musical forms there are in flamenco, but it has to do with way more things than just the form. It has to do with how bars are articulated in terms of beats, but also subdivisions, accents, harmonic and rhythmic groove, harmony, cadences. It's a very complex matter, as you can see in this chart, but for the sake of simplicity, let's cover some of the basics and just talk about rhythm. Now, there are palos that don't have a specific rhythm, but amongst those who have a rhythm, there are 5 main different groups, according to how many beats they have. Now, keep in mind that when I say beats, I mean beats within the logic of flamenco, which doesn't always align with normal Western music. There are 3-beat ones, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 4-beat ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5-beat ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 12-bit ones, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the mixed ones. Now, that's only one of the differentiations there are between palos, but there are others like the speed or the key, which can be either minor, major, or Phrygian. In this chart, you can see some of the main palos there are according to the features I just described. Make sure to screenshot this for further study. Now, let's talk about instruments, and let's start with guitars. Now, there are several differences between a classical guitar and a flamenco guitar. The main one being a spruce top, a lower action, which is the height of the strings above the fretboard, the golpeador, which is a bit of plastic that allows you to do all the percussion bits. And finally, in terms of performance, flamenco guitarists tend to play kind of closer to the bridge to get that sort of edgier, snappier sound. I'll leave a link in the description to a video where you can see all these little differences. Another very important instrument is the cajon. And the main difference between, for instance, a Peruvian cajon and a flamenco one is the strings behind the front board. The strings flamenco cajones always have give them that sort of buzzy sound. In terms of clapping, there are 2 types. There's the sorda, which means deaf, and the aguda, which means high. In order to do the sorda one, your left hand goes horizontal, your right hand goes vertical, and then you create a tiny space right at the center of both your palms, and off you go. In order to do the aguda one, your left hand goes kind of diagonally, and the fingers of your right hand are going to be hitting somewhere here, around the second third of your left palm. And then you're going to try to create the same space you were creating earlier, but now between the center of your left hand and the fingers of your right hand. And off you go. And finally, we've got the castanet and the voice, which are two instruments that require a proper in-depth dive, even to grasp the very fundamentals of them. That's why we'll not be covering them in this video. So that's about it. I hope you find this video helpful. It obviously only covers the very foundations of what flamenco music is, but if you're a musician who has not had any sort of contact with flamenco music before, they'll surely help you, along with some flamenco music listening, produce and deliver effectively flamenco music. And for those of you who want to take it to the next level, I'm going to leave in the description the contact details of a colleague of mine. His name is Carlos Rojo. He's a flamenco professor, so feel free to reach out to him, ask him for lessons, advice, anything. He'll be more than happy to connect with you. So that's all for today, and cheers.